This is AC Starlord, aka Awesome. Welcome back to my channel. And my room's a little bit green, but that's okay. If you guys can't see me or not see me, but that's um gonna be okay, I guess. But the reason why my room is dark and a little bit green is because I'm talking about Ninja Turtles, and Ninja Turtles have been around for a very long time, from animation to comics to movies to all these different things. And you have a wonderful franchise. This is a video about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 30th anniversary edition of. If I hold on, hold on. So they, so we're talking about the anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this video, and I'll show you the ones I'm talking about. So this one right here on the top, the orange one with the orange on top, that's the one that's going to have the anniversary from New Line Cinema and theaters this Friday and this weekend. And then you have Secret of the Ooze, obviously the sequel to it. And then you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, which is the third movie. But the only one that we're talking about is going to be a 30th anniversary for this movie right here, which is which I love about this one. It's pizza, the DVD disc or pizza. So we're talking about this one. No, no, no. We're talking about the one that's just cheese pizza that says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it. And then the other one is a Supreme, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Supreme. And then you have number three, that's just a regular cheesy pepperoni pizza. Um, so you got these movies right here that spawned off of the cartoon. Now, before I go any further, this movie right here was based off of the cartoon. That's based off of the comic. That's based off of an idea from two guys that were just doing things, just hanging out and doing all that stuff. And the thing I gotta say is, these two guys that created these two guys that created these turtles were just messing around one day when they're like in the studio just eating dinner, eating lunch. I think he's either lunch or dinner, and they just drew a turtle on a napkin, and a simple little turtle, tortoise-looking turtle with a headband on their head, and that was spawned the Ninja Turtles. And then they made a graphic novel which was in black and white, which is black and white, and everyone was wearing red. Every turtle was wearing red bandanas. So Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo were all wearing red headbands, and they were all tough and rough and cool, tough and rough and cruel, and some of that. I'll talk more about this later on in this video because it's kind of like a history of it. And you couldn't really tell them the difference until they made the early 90s and 80s TV show where they all split into different colors. And this is where this movie comes from. This movie that we're talking about, or we're mainly talking about in this video with the history of the Turtles came from. Like it came from that early 90s cartoon, and spawns into this live action movie with people in rubber suits where they have different personalities, blue, orange, purple, and red, and it kind of shows you the difference kind of personality. So Leonardo is the leader. He's more worried about leading his team and strategic, and he's pretty cool guy. He has two katanas. You have Michelangelo that's in the orange bandana that's a party deed, and then Donatello, the smart guy that's wearing purple, at least one of my favorite Ninja Turtles, least favorite, I'm sorry. If you guys are a Donatello fan, if you have those Donatello fans, I'm sorry, but if you are a Donatello fan, yeah, cool for you guys. I don't like Donatello as much. I do like Donatello, but not as much. Raphael's also my dude, rough, tough, cool, and ready to fight. And so is Michelangelo. He's a party dude. And Leonardo, I love Leonardo too because his katanas and this his keep his thinking cap up there. Um, Then you have this movie that spawned these other movies, and then you had that TV show and that TV show, and then they made a updated version of that TV show, the same TV show, and then you got into earlier years of, then you got more comics and more comics, and you got merch. You have all about all these different things happening with the Turtles. They were on CW, they were on the CW at one point. They're on FX for Kids at one point. They're after they had their own 2005, 2000, yeah, 2005 Ninja Turtles movie. I mean Ninja Turtles, not movie, TV show. And then they had a 2000 and something. They had a 2000 and something movie um that was called TMNT. Which I also have. I also probably need to get on Blu-ray, but it's on DVD. But they also have that movie. That was also an animated movie, first animated movie since, a long period of time. And then from there, we got a spin-off series of the 2005 movie and 2005, not movie, TV show that was Turtles Fast Forward, and then Turtles Back in the Sewer, which was a same Turtles with this different animation, and then Nickelodeon got a handle of. Then after that, after a time period of that, Nickelodeon got a handle on the TMNT, but also still also having comics. These comics, the early comics, went to, I think, Archie comic. They went from being colored from black and white to being colored to Archie comics, and then now they're with IDW, I believe, currently today, which they also had some many different crossovers, which we'll talk about with IDW, but also IDW had some earlier works of their earlier works of Ninja Turtles. They also had a current run where the Rat King tries to take over their town, and then you have this Michael Bay. Then speaking of movies, another live action version of these. So you had animated one animated movie, and then another live action version of these turned into only two movies with Michael Bay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Megan Fox. They have this one and Rise of the Turtles. This one you don't see much of the turtles towards the end, but this one still had personality traits of the turtles. And like Donatello's the smart one, he had tech on his back. Leonardo, the leader, Raphael, the ruffian, still Donatello being the party dude. But this one live action, I do love these turtles, and they were not as guys in rubber suits like not guys in rubber suits like in these movies, or especially this movie. Um, this one was more the guys wear CGI suits. Shredder was more shredded, like more metal shredder right there. Shredder in here was just a guy with some metal helmet with a cloth. So then you have these movies, and you have Rise of the Ninja Turtles, and then after that we had a period of Michael Bay movies, and then like I said, Nickelodeon came around and made a Nickelodeon. They made a Ninja Turtle TV show, but they what they did was kind of made the Ninja Turtles modern, but remixed it a little bit with some characters from the original 80s and 90s cartoon, and also made them be like an 80s and 90s cartoon. Currently, what person has the 80s and 90s cartoon is Paramount and all these other cartoons. They do have Ninja Turtle movie, another Ninja Turtle Nickelodeon. Then Nickelodeon after that, after they had like a like 3D claymation looking Ninja Turtles, kind of. After that, they made a new Ninja Turtle TV show series called The Rise of the Ninja Turtles, which Raphael was the leader apparently, and the Leonardo was skinnier. And they look just animation to me was bad, like really bad. And they had a the Cartoon Network. They had a cartoon movie on that on Netflix. I watched that one. It wasn't as great. And then we have the current Ninja Turtle. Then I'll get into the crossover comics here. You got a current Ninja Turtle animated movie that was Mutant Mayhem, which everyone loved, with Seth Rogen actually produced and made it more like the original 90s cartoon. And then on top of that, you also have um you also have that movie is the current movie that we currently have, and then they do a TV series on Nickelodeon slash Paramount, which I still need to see and still watch. I'm behind on my turtle stuff, I know, but I know so much about the turtles. But I will be right back. I'll put this on temporary pause for and then after that, they had those movies come out. They had that movie come out. My bad, they had that movie come out. But even before Mutant Mayhem, they had a movie called Ninja Turtles Forever. And it was also between the timeline of the Nickelodeon movies. It's in between before the Nickelodeon owned them. It was the 90s Ninja Turtle. So it was the 2005 Turtles meeting up with the 90s and 80s Ninja Turtles with the original graphic novel Turtles meeting and then knowing that there's other multiverses of Turtles out there called Turtles Forever. They had that movie and then they go back to Mutant Mayhem because then we had live action in the very beginning of this video. Then you have comics. Then you had we had the cartoon, then live action movie, then comics, and then another live action, then another cartoon, then another two live action movies, and then you have Mutant Mayhem. We have Ninja Turtles Forever, then Mutant Mayhem, and then another iteration of cartoons, and then you go to the comics. Now the comics, they I done something new with comics lately with IDW Comics. They had several different crossovers with different people. So they had a Batman crossover, which they also made an anime movie. Reason why I didn't put that in the order there with all the anime movies because they made an anime movie after the comics. They made three parts of Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, but really it's Batman teaming up with the Ninja Turtles with Ninja Turtles villains teaming up with Batman villains and like the Joker and Shredder and all them together, and even the Turtles and Robin, Batman, Batgirl, all that stuff, all in one giant comic. They also had Ninja Turtles with Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles with um, the Power Rangers, and then the current one that going to finish finish here soon. Here, reading up is Ninja Turtles and Naruto. But before they did a comic book series of Ninja Turtles and Naruto, it was just a clothing line um, I mean, a clothing line at Box Lunch that I bought a orange Ninja Turtles shirt that had Michelangelo dressed up like Naruto. And at the time, this is part of the history of me and the Turtles, but also, yeah, I grew up and then I'll get into my history of the Turtles, but this part of the history of that. At the time, I had a girlfriend that I really did really love at that time. This time around, I just didn't work out and don't have the same love for her. But time. Bought the shirt right in front of her at a box lunch. Knew the person knew that box lunch was my favorite place. So on my birthday, she bought a greenish shirt that had the other Ninja Turtles on there, like Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, Michelangelo, all dressed up like characters from Naruto. So you still have Michelangelo as Naruto. You had Leonardo as Sasuke. You had Raphael as Dara. You had Donatello as, Donatello as Guy, I think, and that's pretty much it. And that was a cool shirt, and they were eating ramen and pizza in the same bowl. Um, and then they came out with that comic, and the comic they made it, and I have some videos of the comic on here on YouTube, but they made the comic seemed like the Turtles and Ninja Turtles crossed paths at one point, or at least Guy Sensei, and Master Splinter. clashed at one point in time. Um, but those two people knew each other, but the Turtles and Naruto didn't. But throughout the comic, they got to know each other, and they became good allies and became good friends. So they made it seem like those two characters know each other for a very long time. So even in the Naruto lore and the Naruto lore and the Naruto lore, there was backings of these two characters, Guy Sensei and Splinter, knowing each other for a very long time. So it was kind of cool and kind of funny to see that happening. So that was cool, and that's the latest crossover. Not till today when I see that they have Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers 3 from the Ninja Turtles Power Rangers crossover with IDW and I think Dark. Uh, well, now they both own. I think yeah. Now they both own each other. Now they both are under the same company. So. Um, I don't even know what I'm thinking of. They're both the same company. So now that's the latest new crossover. And then I got a hat of the Ninja Turtles and Naruto crossover, which is also orange. That matches the orange shirt, but got that at Walmart. And then you have just the Turtles, you have the new version of this coming out, which is still old, but new version of this with a documentary coming out before the movie of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 35th anniversary of the original movie with the guys in the rubber suits having a documentary before the film. And I can't be too excited. And then this is the new, I mean, it's still old, but I want to say it's new because they're coming out with the 40th and the 35th anniversary in theaters for people to watch again and to enjoy it and see it on the big screen if you haven't seen it on the big screen. For me, these movies right here, I showed you on Blu-ray that I had of the original one with the guys in the rubber suit. I watched it on VHS, rented it on VHS. Secret Ooze, I rented it on VHS. The third one, I didn't like too much, so I didn't rent it as much, but I rented the first two. Um, I saw it on TV so many times. I got one of those blank tapes and put it in the VCR and recorded Secret of the Ooze and recorded Ninja Turtles. Also two different blank tapes, recorded them both, had them on a collection when we did have a VCR and watched them because I didn't have money to go to the to Blockbuster all the time and rent them. So when they're on TV, you're gonna watch them, right? And then I said my history of the Turtles, right? The history of the Turtles for me is watching the very first cartoon, the early 80s and 90s one, um, with my brother, but also just with me watching it. And I fell in love with them. And then Ninja Turtles were Ninja Turtles to me. And then we had these other cartoons, other movies and stuff like that. And every time there's a turtle movie, every time there's something with the turtles, I try to pay attention as much as possible can. Also, I forgot, McDonald's is also teaming up with the Ninja Turtles and Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty and Ninja Turtles, weird, right? Another crossover. So Turtles are crossing over with a lot of different IPs, and they're not afraid to cross over with other IPs. Um, so do other things like Predator and Aliens. They're not afraid to cross over with IPs with Marvel as well, but that's not it. Also another connection to, well, I just said Marvel, another connection to Marvel. So the same ooze that made Daredevil blind is the same stuff that the Turtles became these Turtles. So that's an interconnected thing of crossovering over as well. But Hello Kitty, now going back to Hello Kitty and Ninja Turtles, I don't never thought that was possible. But heck, that makes me want to get a happy. That makes me want to get a Happy Meal, get at least one of the figures. It doesn't have to be. It could be Donatello. It could be Michelangelo. It could be Raphael. It can be, if it was Michelangelo, Raphael, I'd be happy. Or even Leonardo. It doesn't matter which. And I don't know all the characters from Hello Kitty. It doesn't really matter which one. But if I got one, let's just say if I got it, we just went out to McDonald's. Can I just get the Happy Meal toy? I don't care which one it is. Hello Kitty and Ninja Turtles, great crossover, a great crossover, just like Naruto and Ninja Turtles. you can't stop the Ninja Turtles from doing what they want to do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is great. They're coming out with a 30th anniversary crossover. I mean, 30, not crossover, 30th anniversary movie to sell, 30th anniversary of the original movie to celebrate it. I mean, I can't wait to see them do that for the two Michael Bay movies, or at least one of the Michael Bay movies, or Turtles Forever. They should put Turtles Forever on the big screen. When I saw on television on Nickelodeon or whatever was playing it, I thought that animated movie should be on TV, should be on the big screen instead of TV. TMNT, the anime movie, when they have a as anniversary, even further down the road, I know they're making a sequel to Mutant Mayhem, but when Mutant Mayhem has an anniversary, I can't wait to see that. Turtles are going to be around forever. Doesn't matter what generation you're from, they're going to be around forever. For me, it was the early 90s to, I mean, they were around the 80s and early 90s. I was born in 1991. So it's going to be always the 90s Turtles for me, but I'm okay with them changing the Turtles around. I'm okay with Turtles being looking different. I'm okay with the Turtles teaming up with one of my other favorite teams, Power Rangers. But that's also not the first time they teamed up with Power Rangers. They teamed up with Power Rangers in space, but also I forgot they also had a live action TV show. So before I get into the Turtles in space, Power Rangers, they had their own live action TV show right after their two after their right after their three live action movies, and they introduced a female turtle that had a blue bandana in that TV show, and then they did Turtles in Space, a crossover episode. Well, the turtles were going against the Power Rangers in space, but then they were underneath the spell of Andros's sister, which Andros didn't know that was his sister at the time, and they got him out of the spell, and the turtles teamed up against the Power Rangers in space, and then fought Andros's sisters and the putties. The Power Rangers, and then there's Turtles though. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then there's Turtles together, not Turtles in space. So this is it's a completely different crossover. Um, oh yeah, I forgot. There's also a new female turtle in the comics, and it's also wears a yellow bandana. But she was a human being. She was a human being. She's a human being at first, and then she turned into a turtle. And then the current one I've been reading or picking up is The Last Ronin. And they had Last Ronin. Um, and that's a good one. All the rest of the brothers are dead except one. And when I first found out, it was Michelangelo. But people that have not read it, I'm sorry I spoiled it for you, but it's Michelangelo. Um, Michelangelo, the party dude, was the last one to be left, and he had to take everything seriously. But he had his brothers and his dad, and they showed how they died and everything. So it's all kind of great and good in that. And then they had Last Ronin 2, which was about um April O'Neil and Casey Jones's daughter, which they had a daughter raising these other turtles that are mutants. With I think Mikey is still raising them too. These other new generation Ninja Turtles coming up coming out of the sewer. And Turtle Power, Turtle Power, Pizza Power. It's all the same thing. I had a currently in a workplace and a coworker. I said, I said, turtle power. You mean pizza power? I mean, I said, well, it's both kind of the same. It depends on what era of turtles you're from or what era of turtles you're watching. It's either pizza power or turtle power. Like the 2005 theme song. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do-do-do-do-do-do. 1, 2, 3, 4, na turtles. Do-do-do-do-do. I love being a turtle. The theme songs are great. The original one's great. All their music and theme songs are great. I can go on and on forever talking about the turtles. I love the turtles. I pretty much basically give you a history of the turtles, kinda, and where they've been, where they haven't been, crossovers and all. Um, That's pretty much it. I mean, I can go on and on forever, but the two high points for me are the crossovers. You had them with Batman. They had them with Batman, and you have them with Naruto and no, Batman, Naruto, and Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Power Rangers in Space. And now Hello Kitty, which I'm not a big fan of Hello Kitty, but you have Hello Kitty turtles. I mean, look, the Hello Kitty one might be on the bottom of the list, but you have Batman. Oh yeah, and I forgot Ghostbusters. You have Batman, Naruto, Ghostbusters, and we have you have Batman, Naruto, Power Rangers in Space, then Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then Ghostbusters, and then you have Hello Kitty at the bottom. Though the crossovers were great, and then TV shows were great. I had to say the top TV show I love is the 80s and 90s, and you have the 2005 one after that, and then you have Turtles Forever, which is an anime with the anime special. You have the Nickelodeon one that they try to make more like the original show, and I haven't checked out the Mutant Mayhem TV show yet, but the one that they did right after the first show that Nickelodeon, the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon made. That one didn't like too much. The Rise of the Turtles, I didn't really like that series too much, and the graphic, no- the animation and graphics of it is bad, and it's kind of like Teen Titans Go, and I didn't really like that kind of thing. So that's the only one I can say I didn't like. But the movies, the Michael Bay movies, the first one was you don't see the turtles as much until you see Megan Fox being April O'Neil investigating them, and then they show themselves out of the shadows. Um, the second one out of the shadows, you see more the turtles. I like the second one of Michael Bay, and then the original movies, the original live action one, I like the first one and the second one. The third one, Turtles Out of Time, I can watch that one, no problem. Raphael's Son, no problem, but it's not my favorite. Um, and none of like not so mainstream animated movies because you had if I had to talk about the two mainstream ones, it's TMNT and Mutant Mayhem. Those are the two tops, but the two non-main movies specials that they made was Batman versus Ninja Turtles, um, Batman Ninja Turtles movie, which is DC and IDW working together in animation, and then Turtles Forever. And then the comic series would have to be, I mean, the comic crossover series had to be the top ones had to be Batman and Naruto, and then Power Rangers. Not because I don't like the Power Rangers, just because, I was late in the game with that. So that's pretty much it. All I have to give you is the history of TMNT and all that stuff like that. But they're also, what I did not give you is a history one more time, one more thing. They're all named after Renaissance artists, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. They're all Renaissance painters, just like Van Gogh. So Splinter named them after that. So that's all I gotta say with that. If you don't know that already, this has all been all Ninja Turtle based theme stuff, history, stuff that I liked about it, stuff I know about it. I can just say, like I said, I can sit here forever. I mean, stand here forever and talk about it. But I'm pretty sure you guys pretty much don't want me to talk about the turtles forever. But I'm probably going to do another video like this, but the review for the 30th anniversary of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the rubber suits from the early 90s movie and talk about how the experience went and all that stuff like that. So if you like this video, put a like, put a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and deuces. If you like Ninja Turtles, pizza power and turtle power and all that stuff, let's go.